Joining us in studio, it's head coach DeMeco Ryans. Coach, great to see you.
Hey, great to see you guys as well.
All right, so a little water under the bridge since the game took place with the Lions, and obviously disappointing to lose that game. But, Coach, a lot went right that night. So how do you as a coach take what went right and use it for the team moving forward as you play Dallas on Monday night?
Right, you look at that first half, a lot of things did go right for us. A lot of positive things went well, but the thing about football is you have to finish.
Right.
Right, and I always highlight the positive things that our guys did defensively to be able to take the ball away like we did 5 times. That's huge, right? Most I've ever had, coaching or playing to get 5 takeaways in a game. That's really big for us. I thought we played the run well up until like when we needed the most in the fourth quarter. So you highlight and I show the guys when we play it right and we do it well, like the team's going to struggle running the ball against us. Also, offensively, we had some explosive plays, right? Explosive plays on the screen, some third down plays, Dalton, Mechie, beating man coverage. Really, it's something we've been harping on and how we have to beat man coverage. And it was some really good route running, really good protection from our offensive line. CJ had time to deliver the football. So there are a lot of positive things that we can continue to see and build on because we do it right, we went and competed versus one of the top teams in the NFL, right? And this team, a lot of people are choosing to go all the way, and we had control of that game, for most of the game, for 3 quarters we had control of the game, and then, it flipped on us. So for us, and my message to our guys is, like, when you go through this little tough patch, these tough times, it's not just about getting through it, right? It's about growing through it. So through this difficult time, like, can we grow through it? Like, what lesson are you learning? How is that shaping your character? How is that strengthening your resolve? Like, how is that really strengthening your focus when you're lined up and you have to dial in a little extra? Like, how locked in are you to make that block? How locked in are you to make that right read and be in the right spot versus a pass concept? Like, that's what I want our guys to take away from it. Like, and to go higher, to soar to new heights. Like, there is, as we, everybody heard the adage where taking the stairs or taking the escalator. Right. And I told our guys today we're taking the stairs, right? We're taking the hard way, but it's okay because we both get to the top, but by taking the stairs, we're going to be a little stronger. And our team right now, we need to get stronger. We need to grow. We need to change some things. We need to have that championship mindset, and you got to see what it takes to win games. And our guys, I feel like they've learned that over the past couple of weeks, going through some tough losses, some difficult times. Like, you see how the extra and how the little things, right, really shape up to be big things, because that's where our miscues were in the game. It's all those little things, like whether it's snap timing or cadence or being, like, it's eyes and just being in footwork. Like, it's all those little things that add up to show you, like, oh, man, I really have to be on it. If we're going to go play playoff football and beat playoff teams, like, those little things have to be, like, we have to knock those out 100%.
Coach, every time I hear somebody say 5 interceptions, and you mentioned it a second ago, I think, well, should have been 6. I mean, if Sting hangs on to that one.
Oh, yeah.
And look, we've come to expect that from Sting because that's a similar play that he made against Denver last year. But the one that stands out the most, I think, to me because of our early struggles this year with the deep ball was the one that Kalen made on J-Mo down the field, where Williams is running that route, and it's like, man, that's a route I guarantee he's open 9 out of 10 times, and yet Kalen seemed to play that well. So he gets a pick there. Kamara has 2. Your 2 rookies have 7 picks between them, which I think is an incredible number, and we've talked about this a little bit, but I felt like that play that Kalen makes going over the top of J-Mo to make that deep interception to take that away, and you took away J-Mo's impact because of Stingley's play and of Kalen's play. What do you say about what Kalen's giving you in that deep end right now, how he's playing, how he's getting better and helping that whole secondary?
Yeah, Kalen has done an outstanding job, and that's what he excels at. You talk about a guy playing in the deep part of the field. What sticks out about him is, as a young player, sometimes you forget he's a rookie, but he just doesn't panic when the ball is in the air. Like, he plays with really good depth, and it allows him to actually play the football. So he's not in a panic position where he's trying to catch up to a receiver. Like he's on top in good position. Now he's just able to play the football and go back to playing receiver. And he does a great job of going up and catching the ball at his highest point, what you try to teach all DBs. And, he's made play after play each game. He finds a way to come up with the football. And even the one with Stingley, like he's back there deep to help Stingley. And Stingley, like we've seen Stingley make that catch a ton of times, not only in game, but also in practice. And I know Stingley would love to have that one back, but it just showed like when we're on the game plan and we know their deep threat is J-Mo and we're able to be on top and not give up the deep ball, like that's winning football.
So Mark and I talked about this. We wrote down Jared Goff's 5 games before this one. Mm-hmm. And then you look at his numbers from this one. You held him to 50%, 5 interceptions in the game. That's even lower than the percentage that you were giving up in a completion percentage, 54.9. Do you guys have a particular goal when you go into a game? Hey, we want less than such and such percentage. You guys have a goal? Because I would imagine you probably reached it the other night going against a guy that was completing 80% of his passes.
Oh, man. I never put a number on that goal when it comes to completion percentages. My main goal, anytime, depending on the quarterback we're going against, is how do I disrupt his process? So whatever, like I've seen him excel at throughout, the first last 4 games, I try to throw some different pictures at him, right, to make him get off of his game, right, and not give him the easy throws. And that's where Goff really excelled when he had the play action throws. Like he tried to throw on us, guys were just wide open. Yeah. So it starts with, first off, guys, we just cover your guy, right. All right? When we cover our guys, that's the start of it. And then when you mix in different coverages and different looks, different disguises, right, it just throws them off of what we've been doing. We just put a different spin on it, right, to present it a different way so our quarterback can't just sit back and know exactly what coverages we're playing.
Coach, with Kenyon out, you juggled things on the offensive line. You moved Juice over to guard and Patterson at center, who's played there before. So take the viewer, listener through how you make those decisions and what you look at when you're re-coordinating things with positions.
Yeah, well, the first thing we look at is, you want, first and foremost, who can be dependable and who's going to be a great communicator. On the offensive line, there's a lot of communication that goes on when it's IDing guys of which linebacker are we going to in the run game, or which D tackle or DN are we sliding to. So there are a lot of communications. Having that past experience with Patterson, it felt like he would be better, and he would help us with our communication up front. So putting him at the center spot and then moving Juice over, right, to left guard. Juice played guard for us when he came back at the end of last year. He played some guard, so it wouldn't be new to him. Right, he played it before, so felt more comfortable with him, and having him and Patterson in there felt like our communication would be really good. And those guys did a really good job when it came to the protection. And we had one miscue, but overall the protection was better from the offensive line standpoint. And the run game, it wasn't our best day running, and I don't shy away from that. We got to do a better job of just running off the football, so we can improve there with running as being more physical, attacking the line of scrimmage and really dominating, playing on their side of the line of scrimmage. We can improve there, but I really like those 5 guys. And you want to get your best 5 guys. That's another thing that goes in, when you're evaluating. That's it.
And Joe, like you said, because you didn't have the greatest game running, but he finds a way to impact in the screen game. Right. He has another catch across the middle. The thing is 8 yards, so he helps you in the receiving game. But I want to ask you about a decision that came later in the week before the game and naming Joe Vixon a captain of the team. How important of a decision you think that was to have Joe become a captain? He's shown a lot of leadership, but just being named a captain, putting a C on the chest, you've had that situation before where you've had that responsibility of wearing a C. What do you think that meant to Joe, and can you take us through that decision of naming him a captain?
Yeah, as I continue to I always just watch our guys, and I did this last year as well, named Robert Woods the captain mid-season. It's just, as I go through the season, sometimes when you start the season in training camp, everybody kind of picks the guys who they think are captains, and they're spot on. And I think Joe, by him missing time during our training camp, he missed a lot of time with injury, and I just felt like with him not being around, he still had a lot of votes for a captain. But I just seen Joe from the time he came back, right, up until, this week. I just see a guy who goes out and he exhibits like everything that I believe in. You talk about working hard in practice. not just talking, but doing it the right way, like motivating his teammates, like always encouraging his guys, like, and it's not all talk. He does it, like, and when he gets in the game, he finishes in a physical manner. He plays hard. He plays the right way. And I just want to show our guys, like, man, this is, like, as we're going through the season, this is what a captain is. Like, this Joe Mixon represents what a captain is and a guy you look to be a captain. He's very deserving of it, and I was able to do it in a team meeting setting and just give him, the honor that he deserves.
Yes.
And one thing about it is I think all of our guys understood that, right? And they were probably more happy for Joe than Joe was. Joe has been a captain when he was with Cincinnati, so it's not new to him. But just wanted to show the guys, man, you earn that respect in this league, and Joe's definitely earned the right to be a captain for us.
Yeah.
Coach, with the John Mechie story, it's interesting in so many different ways. Obviously, we're very familiar with the story, but just the aspect of not being active earlier in the season, being active, and being in a game with that kind of production is such a great example for everybody, isn't it?
It is. That's what I believe in, too. It's just about, guys, just keep working. And I always talk about, like, everybody, the question is always, Nico, who's going to step up? Well, I don't know who's going to step up, but I know that if everybody, whoever it is, like, if you attack it the right way and you own your opportunity, like, just by showing up and doing what's asked of you and doing it consistently the proper way, like, you'll make plays. Like, CJ's going to throw it to the open guy, and the guy he feels like is going to make but over the past few weeks in practice, I started to see that connection between CJ and Mechie just continue to develop and grow, where he's giving him the football in practice, and Mechie was, giving him that confidence to know that, I can go up and catch the football and finish. Right. And Mechie's been practicing fast. He showed up in the game. He played fast. He played decisive, running his routes, very decisive, beating man coverage, like everything we asked him to do. And for him to have his first touchdown after all that Mechie's been through, we all know his story and what he's battled through. I couldn't be more proud of a guy who's just kept his head down, continued to work, continued to get better, and now it shows up, here at this point in the season.
One thing you just brought up there, practicing fast, and how does that apply to everybody? I ask you from time to time, how do you handle the practices as the season goes on? But you still want that high energy in practice to simulate game conditions, right?
For sure. We don't do a lot of reps, so and every rep is so valuable to me, right? Because I always look at it as you always are at game speed. So if we're walking through, and we're in teach mode. We're slow, we're walking, and we're teaching. But when we practice and the ball is snapped, we always play fast. It's just what I believe in. If you want to play fast on Sundays, you got to practice fast. So when the ball is snapped, you only know one speed, and that's full speed.
You and my pops the same way. I got a 30-minute lecture one time because I went in a batting cage, and I just took kind of a flippant batting swing. My dad jumped all over me because for that same reason. He said, if you're going to play, you have to take every swing like you would take it like you're playing. I was like, that actually makes sense. 17 it didn't, but now it does for sure. Coach, it was interesting being down on the field, seeing what I felt like were guys running to the football, and especially in the all red. But from above, watching the video, it does look literally like a swarm of these red ants like flying at the ball. It felt like, especially early on, that swarm, and then we talked about swarm has a lot of different tentacles to it, but the football aspect of it, guys flying at the football, was certainly there. How did you feel about that aspect, the energy your guys played with, especially defensively early in that game in particular?
I couldn't have said it better than that. Just watching the film again, like today, that's what I said. Man, we call this the red swarm.
Yeah.
Like just seeing, and that's where it comes in. Where I know we've been talking about missed tackles and got tackling better, and this needed to be a great tackling game for us. But I just love the fact that it shows up even when you just shoot your gun and you play fast. Even if you miss, and you got 5-6 other guys coming, cleaning it up. Guys finishing around the pile, like that's how great defensive football looks, like guys swarming to the football, and definitely love the red swarm.
Yeah. So more X's and O's questions coming up. But while we're on the topic, we've seen all the uniforms now, Coach. Seen them in the flesh. So what do we think?
Man, H-Town Blue. H-Town Blue is still really nice. And also the red for me, that was really cool to see. I think the H-Town Blue maybe kind of crept up as the favorite. How was it for you guys?
I still think H-Town Blue. That's the one I'm going with.
Yeah,
I still like that.
I like
That's
the red.
my-
The red was really good.
Yeah.
Now for the play-by-play announcer, the numbers on the red
numbers
and the
are hard.
H-Town
Yeah,
Blue are
that
both
was a
pretty
little
tough.
hard.
But I'll sacrifice that,
Yeah.
Coach, for that
Yeah.
kind of swarm mentality.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
My kids definitely love the H-Town Blue. Yeah.
So playing Dallas. Now, Dallas, America's team, I'll put that in air quotes or whatever. But, you played for Alabama, kind of the college version of America's team. So what about this for the team going up to play? I know it's another game, and it's the next game. It's the most important game. But there's something about playing Dallas, isn't there?
Yeah, it's definitely something about playing Dallas. If you've been around Houston for any time, there's some Dallas fans that kind of give you a hard time around here. I can't, I go to church and I got Dallas fans at church bugging me. So, no, you're not getting tickets to the Dallas game. But, it's just feeling that from the fans and people around town who probably grew up when the Cowboys were really good in the 90s, and they still, carry that with them. And so it does add a little bit more to the game, being both teams here in Texas. And we have definitely something to prove going up to Dallas. We want to show all our Texas people that, hey, the Texans are at least Texas' favorite team.
Yeah.
We got to go prove it against the Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely. And then playing on Monday night.
Yeah.
Now, Mark and I have talked about this. We're a little older than you, Coach. Monday night was always the special night for people in our generation. Now, maybe some people say Sunday night, but Monday night is still that one opportunity, just like Sunday night, you get the opportunity for everybody to watch on that night. How special is it to play on Monday night up in Jerry World?
Yeah, it's very special. And for me as well, growing up, it was Monday Night Football or WWE. I was going back and forth between both, but Monday night is always special, always been special, and it's our guys will be fired up for it. It was what was that Monday night? I'm playing around with the kids shooting basketball outside, and my youngest son Mike, he comes in, he's like, "Daddy, we're watching Monday Night Football?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, son. I forgot Monday Night Football was on. I'm trying to give football a break for a little bit." But Monday Night Football is huge, and we really look forward to playing on this national stage again. And now it's time for us to get on the winning side on the national stage.
Well, third consecutive primetime game. So now you've been through it 3 times this season, the day-long wait for the night game, which we talked about before. There's something about that. And now you're more used to it. That's got to help a little bit as you take on the Cowboys.
It definitely helps. You get adjusted, get used to that schedule. And, it's hard. Now, it's hard sitting around all day and being that last game. But, guys get I look at it as our guys get a little extra rest, right? A little extra time to prep, a little extra time to review some notes. And, man, it's no better time than being the only show on TV, right? That everybody's tuned in and watching. All of your peers get to watch. Like, it's time for us to go play winning football and go win, on prime time.
You got the extra time after the Jet game with the mini bye,
Right.
but with the Monday night game, you get 1 extra day. So I know you changed the week. It's a really unique week with Tuesday being Monday of game week. You wanted to start the clock on time. I'm not going to do this to you, Johnny, where Saturday is Friday and all that stuff. But you want to be in that regular routine, right?
Yeah, try to keep our guys in as much of a normal routine as possible. So we gave them the day off after our last game, and now we'll start our week just a normal week. We just got an extra day of rest, which our guys definitely would appreciate.
Yeah.
Coach, I thought about this because I was driving home the other night, I don't know, midnight or whatever it is. Whenever you're driving home from a game or you're driving home from practice and idea pops in your head, whether it's a coverage, whether it's just a thought about a player, or it's, hey, something I'm thinking about, maybe it's something with the training staff or maybe something with nutrition. How do you kind of handle that for yourself when you kind of have these like innovative blasts of like, oh, wait, man, I really like this coverage against this play, or I'm thinking about something that happened in a game. I want to make sure that I make a point of that in a team meeting. How do you kind of handle that as a coach? Like when you're thinking about all that stuff, do you kind of jot it down in notes? Do you kind of just, I got to mentally make a note? Like sometimes I talk into my phone. How do you kind of handle that when you go through something like that?
No, that's great, man. I have so many different things running through my mind, so many ideas that pop up. So, one thing I do, like I have a lot of ideas that pop up, so I try to write them down. So I write them down on my board in my office, or like you said, on the phone, I'll type some notes in. Like I'll type the team, and I just start typing different notes and things that I may want to do during that particular week. And I always say, like, I always try to make sure I sleep on those like
Right,
decisions
right.
before it's like it gets around 9 o'clock or something. Like, man, I'm not making any decisions
Right.
past 9.
Right.
I want to sleep on it. And then
Yep.
once I sleep on it, get a good night's sleep, come back in the morning, I come back with even more fresh ideas and trying to figure out just, man, how can we put our guys in the best spot so
Yep.
they can go make plays?
Yeah.
What about these Dallas Cowboys? No Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush. I know they're coming off a tough outing, but they have a lot of talent on the team still. What can you tell us about your thoughts on this version of the Cowboys?
Yeah, still a lot of talent, right? And it starts with CD Lamb. That's the one guy that sticks out to me, like explosive player. And it's not just the deep passes, it's what he does with the football after he catches it. Like he has that ability, right, to make you miss and go to the house. So we have to be tight in coverage on him, and we have to tackle him really well. Really impressed with the young back Rico. I think he's doing a great job. Explosive player that can make some plays. So I could probably see them leaning more his direction. And also a tight end, Ferguson, does a good job. I know defensively, getting Micah Parsons back that's a big deal. He comes back. And he's able to impact the game instantly, getting 2 sacks last week. And also just Overshawn, the rookie linebacker, he's flying around, playing fast. Guy I really like coming out of Texas. Thought he would fit really well in our scheme, just with his scheme, his length, his speed, athleticism. He's going to be a really big-time playmaker for him. So really good team. Never take any team lightly. They got playmakers. Diggs at the corner spot can – take the ball away at any given time. So it's going to be, again, I know I always say it, but it's about the Texans
Right.
executing the right way.
Yeah.
Texans, we got to make sure we are getting out of our own way, like handling all those little things the proper way, being on the details so we can go compete against the Cowboys and not compete against ourselves.
When you mentioned Texas, it made me think because you've got the Alabama logo on. The other night, there was a lot of Bama on that field on both sides. I mean, there were some dudes on that field. I know that you coach Alabama. Obviously, you have a lot of pride in Alabama. And I know it's a game you want to win. But in some sense, you look at it and go, man, there's a lot of guys from my alma mater. I'm proud of what those guys are doing. Even on the other side, I'm proud of them because they came through the program that you went through. What was that like kind of seeing all those Alabama guys? I mean, you see a bunch of them every day, but to see Gibbs and J-Mo on the other side, Brian Branch, all those guys from Alabama, and you're presenting for your university.
It's really cool, and it's really a proud moment when you can see all those guys knowing, we went to the same university and seeing those guys make it to the highest level in the NFL and seeing them be successful on this level as well. It makes you proud. I felt that during the week, but during the game, it's like we got to get these guys, But no, it's a really cool moment. And not only just the players on the field, but also coaches. Sean Deion Hamilton, he's coaches the linebacker. Deshae Townsend, so it's a lot of Alabama connections there with the Lions. But it's really proud of all those guys and what they've done.
Yep. Amegy Bank Ask Coach question of the week. Okay, your relationship with social media, Coach, because you do have an X account, a Twitter account that you don't really use anymore. It's DRyans59. Now, you did tweet after the season last year, thank you, fans, or whatever you retweeted the Texans. And you used to, back in the day, tweet more. But what about your relationship with social media? You don't have time to be on social media, but what do you think of it all?
That's the thing. Now, I don't have time to be on it, but I do think, just with social media, it's such a cool way where everybody is right at your fingertips. Like the world has become so much smaller, right, because of it's easy to connect with many different people all over the place. So, I don't use it as much as I used to. May scroll every once in a while, but really watching a lot of film and trying to stay locked in on the film. But I think for social media, used the right way, right, it can be very beneficial. It just thinks it gets to be bad when it just, like anything, right? You do too much of it and it just consumes your day. You find yourself just continuously scrolling, right? It just takes you off of your focus, what you need to actually do to be productive during the day.
Okay, you got holidays coming up, so we always love the non-football questions with you. So I'm going to ask you a couple of either-ors. Number one, Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving?
After Thanksgiving.
Artificial or real tree?
Oh, both.
Really?
We'll do 2 trees. My wife would get one real tree and then one artificial as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Presents Christmas Eve night or Christmas Day?
Oh.
Or dependent on whether there's a game.
Got to do some. You got to let the kids open up some on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And then Christmas morning, that's when they get the big stuff. But we can't buy them too much.
No,
All right,
you're
now,
right.
yeah.
No, you're right.
You're
Absolutely.
using up all my December questions
oh, man,
already.
There's
Too
more.
early?
There's more where
Okay,
that
there's
came
more,
from.
there's more.
There's definitely more that came from.
All right,
Oh,
Coach, thanks a
man.
lot. Good luck this week.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed it.